look like this.
Man, what you want to make your hair look like that for?
Will you let the man tee you off? You yap worse than 6 barbers.
Welcome back to another episode of the Your Barber podcast. I'm your host, Matt Ballot, a.k.a. Matty Blades on Instagram. Thanks for rocking out with me when we tried the little trial NFL playoff betting barber series. But we're back to the regular format. This is episode 53. And I have a special guest today. I have my neighbor in the Salon Loft community. Without further ado, let's go ahead and bring in my guy, Nathaniel Barnes. What's up, Nate? How's your Monday afternoon going?
I'm on a battery charger, man. I'm getting fully juiced for the week, so
You gotta recharge the batteries sometimes, right?
yeah, man.
I had to go in for a client earlier today. I like to do it when like 9 a.m. I might fit in one person after I drop my daughter off at school since I'm out.
Yeah,
But today they're off for winter break.
yeah.
I don't know when you were in school, Nate, if they had winter break.
No, I ain't never heard of that in my life, man.
Right? I was like, no, that was Christmas break. That was winter break.
Right.
You had kind of the week or 10 days that kind of string together with New Year's and everything. And then that was it until spring break, which came around April.
Right.
Like my wife was just like, no, that's spring break. I'm like, no, they're going to get that too, I'm sure.
Right. Yeah, they get 1,000 breaks nowadays.
Right. They get fall break. I'm like, how many breaks they get? So,
And I think they get out of school faster too. So that's
right.
crazy.
So at the beginning of May, probably not the end of May.
Right.
Yeah. So I wouldn't have came in today. Probably I wouldn't have thrown it out there if I would have known they had the week off. But say all that to say we're here. Got all that done. So I started in the Salon Lofts, opened up my own business in late May, and met Nate in the suites over there. And he's been a good dude to me, and yeah, we kind of have each other's back here and there, and
Yeah, man.
shoot the shit. So I was like, dude, I gotta have you on. I gotta bring you on the podcast. I'm trying to bring back the regular format, and yeah. At first, we're gonna do after Super Bowl Sunday, the Monday after. It was like, let's push it away.
Yeah. They
So,
need to recover, right?
yeah, it's not the best day to do that.
Right.
And a day's the next day for sure. Before I always get started on your background and everything, I kind of have an icebreaker of sorts. It's called Just an Observation, kind of talking about, scenarios that might play out in the barbershop or just in general life shit. I had one the other day I was thinking about. I was like, this will be a good Just an Observation with, you hand a client the mirror after a service, right?
Right.
And it seems like they're just looking a little too long. They're holding it up like you're just like, all these thoughts are going in your head like, like,
Right.
is this a good or a bad thing, right? I'm usually like, what is it? What you got? I'm not satisfied unless you're satisfied, man. Tell me.
Right. Right. So
Yeah, what do you think?
me personally, when they do that, I take the lock off, then I spin them real hard so they can get real dizzy. You don't want baby to see no more. Then they be like, "No, I'm just joking, man. I'm just joking." But but I ain't gonna lie. I got this thing I say. I'll be like, we're gonna let the mirror do the talking. So
there you go.
I'm getting paid to follow directions. So if you see something, just let me know. But
Absolutely.
they keep holding it too long. I'll be like, well, everything okay?
Right. I always said them with any adjustments or
right. Because I'm thinking if it's something you want me to change or fix, I could be doing that while you're holding the mirror. But our business, it involves a lot of patience. So
yeah,
we'll adapt over time.
Deal with the public. You got to kind of have a certain tone and you know, you encounter a lot of stuff, and you've kind of seen it all as a barber, right? So
Right.
you know how to play it and just stay even keeled as it goes. And
Right.
some people won't say anything when they do see something in the mirror. They're like, "Nah, it's good." Is it?
Right. Right.
I'm
Right.
like, I straight up tell them, I'm like, dude, you're not gonna hurt my feelings. Just
Right.
tell me. Like, I would rather you tell me than not, right?
Right. Right. I'm
Because you're
not
a walking advertisement.
right. 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 I'm glad to hear you say that. That's one of my favorites. I'd be like, you're a walking billboard now. So
Yeah.
somebody like this work, make sure you let them know. So
That was always my argument to like former bosses. I'm like, I'm not worried about churning them out. Worried about bringing them back.
right, right, for sure. For
As
sure.
soon as they leave here, they're not going to say, "Where'd you get that quick haircut?" They're going to say, "Where'd you get that fucked up haircut?"
Right, 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 real quick.
Right? Because people come in, "Can I get a quick cut, man?" And it's like, yeah, but when you leave, do you say it's a quick cut or do you say, nah, he sucks?
Right, right,
So
right,
that's one of the good parts about, being your, own business owner now. With you can just it's a scenario, it's a situation by situation kind of thing now. You can kind of make sure you do a good job, giving yourself enough time if need be, and it's a fine balance for
right,
sure.
right.
So yeah, I mean, I've been trying to get the hang of it in there with fitting in a lot of people versus kind of making sure it's quality work at the same time.
Right.
What's your take on that, Nate? Have you kind of played that throughout the time? Just would you rather be a quality guy or a quantity guy?
Well, I'd rather be I ain't gonna lie, a little bit of both at times.
You gotta be, right?
As you know, we professional barbers, so we know the difference between a client and a customer, right? You know, the
Right.
guy who just buzzing in, popping up out of nowhere on
Yeah.
a Saturday. Maybe he's visiting, but at the same time, he might be a chair hopper. But
Right.
we wanna I wanna do good work, but at the same time, I wanna hold on to my clients. So
Yeah.
gotta find like a perfect balance.
Yeah, and sometimes you squeeze in this guy you'll never see again,
Right,
and you're kind of disrupting the flow you have with your guys that you've
right,
built up over time.
right,
It's sometimes not worth it,
right,
and that's the beauty of being your own, being a one man show, because you got no influence of someone, making you feel uneasy by not taking the guy.
right,
So they always seem to come on busy days. They never come when you're dead or you're sitting there, you got a big gap or something.
right,
Those walk-ins always show up at the worst time.
right.
So, and then they might ask the price, and you're like, "Oh boy, is this my client or not?"
Right, right. I'm kind of getting used to that. I think I got good prices based on the clients I got, just trying to meet them where they at. But I'm kind of getting used to a healthy price of running some people off.
Yeah,
'Cause, people who don't appreciate your work, appreciate your time. I'd rather not anyway. So
yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Some people you deal with for a while until it just kind of it usually works itself out, half the time. Like you don't really have to force anything too hard, but like I think you remember old boy. That was a client that was a hard one to please
yeah,
sometimes.
yeah,
When I first started with dude, it was like he was the pickiest guy
yeah,
in the world, and I always had to make sure I was on my A game because I appreciate the challenge here and there, but
right,
and then at one point he stopped looking at the mirror, and I'm like, well, Jesus. No, he's not even looking anymore. So
right.
I kind of still want you to check it out, but yeah.
That's great though. You know what that means, right? That
Right.
means you reached a certain level. Because I got a few clients who don't I try to get in the mirror, they act offended.
Right.
That means
Like,
they
come on,
trust,
man. Come on.
yeah, that means they trust you. So
Yeah.
that's what's up.
And I get it too. Sometimes you start out with a client I was like, I kind of specialize in beards too, man. And they're like, hold on, man, we're not there yet. It's just like, I get it.
Right.
This is a trust builder session here. We're kind of working towards this. So
Right.
totally get it on both ends of it. So I used to be that picky client, dude. And I actually called my old barber. I had my old barber on this podcast. I
Whoa,
thought
that's
that was an
dope.
awesome full circle thing. Like, I apologize. I'm like, dude, I am sorry. Like, I was a pain in the ass all the time, I'm sure. And that was for $20 haircuts or something back then, too.
Right.
So he's talking about churning them out, man. He would just be chopping up all day long,
Right.
busy college town.
Right.
And yeah, I would be like, hey, this beard right here, just it's a little something.
Right.
So yeah, man. You get it once you're in the trenches now.
Right.
Start to understand.
Sound like you was walking into your destiny. That's what it sound like.
Yeah, man. I always had an appreciation for the barbering, and yeah, it's something I wanted to do forever. And it wasn't until I moved out to Arizona, I kind of got a nice restart on life and my career. And so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I'll be broke for a while for sure, but like I refused to get a part-time job that was like a kind of quote unquote career. Like in Arizona where we lived, like State Farm's like headquarters was there, right?
Right.
There's this big fucking high rise on the water. And I always my wife almost would like urge me to be like, "What, you try to get a job over there?" Because I was just like driving around for Lyft, doing a little part-time thing here, like just something I knew I wouldn't do forever.
Yeah.
Because I know me, and if I start to get comfortable in a job, I might settle and then start to lose sight of what I always wanted to do, which was barbering things. So finally, it didn't happen overnight. It took about a good year before I finally, just ate it and went after it. And it was the best decision I ever made, for sure.
That's dope, man.
For sure. So Nate, let's hop into your background, man. We talked about these clients looking at the mirror a little too long. Let's hop into your thing. So Nate, where were you born, number one, man?
Man, I was born in Atlanta, Georgia at Brady Hospital.
Wow, a native of all natives here.
Yeah, I was born on that curve that everybody loves to hate. With the bad traffic. Like,
yeah, man. The traffic's a thing. Did you get to see the traffic kind of develop through the years?
Yeah, well? I did actually. It got worse and worse. So
you have a different disdain for it.
but I know one thing: if you can drive here, you can drive anywhere. So
yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, I got a nice taste of the West Coast traffic, the East Coast, and then down here, it's a little different. It's just kind of everything mixed together almost.
Right.
A little taste of it all.
Right.
So what part of Georgia were you from? Or just Atlanta?
Yeah, just Atlanta. Just all over Atlanta. I was born Southwest Atlanta, like on Dixie Hills community.
Okay.
The inner city's kind of close, so if we call out my neighborhoods, we'll say Southwest Atlanta, 4th Ward, there's like Boulevard.
Right.
Dr. King is from 4th Ward because, Auburn Avenue over there, and East Atlanta off of Moreland. Now you get off from Moreland, you see that sign that say, welcome to East Atlanta.
Yeah.
And the world famous Buddy's gas station. They've been there for 100 years. But,
that's a landmark there. Okay.
They've been there a long time. Probably just to the community because everybody stopped there. But yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've been learning more and more. I mean, I've only been here, moved in the summer of 22.
Yeah.
So like I'm starting to gain a gist of the areas, just driving around, bringing my wife spots, checking it out. Plenty to explore though.
Yeah.
I feel like the plenty natives have a lot more to explore too. I mean,
welcome, man. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Sure.
There's a lot going on, man. A lot to see.
It is.
And it's been good. It's been great for my family, man. I'm grateful, being here. So it's been great. Kind of what was it like being a kid, man, growing up in Atlanta? Like what were you like?
I'm gonna tell you, growing up in Atlanta is kind of like any other inner city. It's like okay, let me describe it. Okay, I went to Henry Grady High School.
Okay.
If I make a comparison, it's called Midtown High now. That's another topic, but it's named the Midtown High, and it's across from Piedmont Park. But that area right there, you can see that okay, if you go up the roads, you got like Boulevard, you got on North Avenue, there might be a different income of people. Then as soon as you cross over Punch, you got like Emmett Park, the whole Piedmont Park community. So when I was in high school, man, it was like and I love that high school to this day. You know how you dream about something, they used to be fun. It was like the hood Beverly Hills 90210.
Really?
Yeah, so just diversity, like people from all different communities and all different races. Like it was cool, bro. Like in Atlanta, like any other inner city. But I'm gonna say this: if you grew up in Atlanta, you're gonna understand what as a black person, you're gonna understand what blackness is, and you're gonna understand like we got two things going on here. We got Southern hospitality and civil rights.
Right.
All those ancestors that died, like back in the day, they really fought and set up a good and accepting place for like people from all over the world. So you see like everybody's here. And it's a place where you can come and you can be who you want to be. Nobody ain't gonna bother you. But it's good and bad around here though. So you
man. It's just like city, right?
But whatever you in, you in. Whatever you're not in, you're not in. But but it's a great place for opportunity though. So I love it. It's kind of weird, but I only see myself vacationing places. Or maybe buy a vacation home or something, be renting out, but it's always gonna be my home though. So,
never leave, you don't think?
No, I'm all right. I leave, I vacation, I do some months.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I love this Georgia, this red clay, man. I love it, man.
Yeah, man, that was the new thing too, the red clay stuff. I'm like,
it ain't coming out, bro.
Yeah. Seriously. I feel bad people have white houses, that white brick they painted, it just gets splashed up on it all the time.
Right.
But that's interesting you talk about, like, I live like down Route 20 or Interstate 20. So like you notice a shift. Like you said, like when you cross the bridge, kind of, there's like two different parts of town. And it seems like that, the gentrification and things like that's going on in a lot of cities. It seems like it just keeps stretching further and further.
Yeah.
And, it's a very interesting thing to get both worlds mixed. And you're talking about Midtown High School. Like, well, when did that kind of completely shift? I'm sure it's just nothing but people that can afford to live in that area and just money and more money. It's crazy.
Well, it's probably still everybody in there.
Yeah.
The community wanted to change the name. Like a lot of traditional Confederate people or groups with certain ideologies. They kind of want to erase that stain around the South a little bit.
Right.
But me personally, I don't take it personal because I'm the type of guy I'd rather not forget. When you forget
part of the history,
right? You forget stuff. It's dangerous. You might end up in the same situation again. So
100%, man.
Right, but it's all right with me though.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, I always look at like Decatur. Like I live in like South Decatur, and that high school right there in like downtown area, or that big high school. I always look at that. I'm like, man, that'd be cool if my daughter could go there.
Yeah,
that'd be a real good high school. But man, that's the other part, man. Having a kid here with schools, and you got to enter the lottery, and you got to do all this. And I'm like, even my neighbor was telling me, he was like, yeah, don't go to that school that's close to us. I'm just like, really?
Whoa.
It's just like, yeah, that's even like the high school the school she got into, the elementary school. She's like, yeah, that's all right. I'm like, that's it. I'm like, okay. She's been doing great though. She's learning Spanish, and everyone's been great, man. It's been cool.
That's good.
So good. But we still had to win the lottery to get in that school.
It's crazy. Like lottery, I never heard of that, but it's crazy. What is a lottery?
So it's like it's kind of just like you enter this drawing, and then you're in like the list of kids to be, and it's still in our county. Like we can't leave our county, but there's like districts within the counties, and so this is it's over like Flat Shoals. It's a magnet school. It's called Barack Obama School of Tech, Magnet School of Technology. So it's like one of those like charter-ish schools, which I'm still trying to understand how that works. But yeah, it's been good. It's they'll shuttle her to the daycare so I can work until like 5 and shit too.
Word.
So,
Word.
but yeah, man. So back to your childhood. So what were you kind of like? Was barbering always like a theme, or like what were you kind of into as a kid? You play sports?
Man, let me tell you, man.
Or
When I was a kid, I did everything else other kids did. In the city it's tough though. It's like
you're out there sometimes,
yeah,
right?
you're a smart kid, but you in a slow, fast city. So you gotta kind of be careful, like what you get into, what you don't get into. But it's a while, man. I became a barber. My mom, like I'm the oldest of 4. So,
okay.
Mom, she trying to cut all I had, and she's a blasted haircut every time. Those bowl cuts back in the day.
Oh, yeah. Right.
So one day I was like, man, I can't go through this no more. I probably can do better than you. So
yeah,
I started cutting my hair, my brother's hair, a couple of friends. So
what's the age difference between you and your siblings?
All right, I'm like 7, 8, and 9 years older than my brothers. So,
okay.
Yeah, like I'm the oldest.
So you didn't get away with anything being the firstborn, or how'd that kind of go?
I learned to get away.
To kind of
I
help out a lot.
I learned to get away with a lot, but I kind of didn't want to abuse the privilege of being a big bro. So I kind of try to set an example, man. I know I got little people watching me, so
yeah, dude, that's what you gotta do. I mean, it's all of a sudden turns into a new responsibility being big bro there.
Yeah, and it was crazy. I always worked jobs. I probably did the inner city thing. Probably got into this, got into that. But my mom, she was like, if you don't get no job, you're gonna get your butt up out of here. So
right.
To this day, I appreciate her for that because they kind of, you had your inner city friends who probably all they knew was the streets.
Right.
So they kind of like handicapped them because they you'll get in a situation, you're probably get in some trouble, and next thing you know, you come home, you don't know how to work. So it turned into a cycle. So I appreciate Mom for that. But it got to the point where I was like, I did all kind of jobs. This is wild. I think my first job was on Church's Chicken. No, it was McDonald's. McDonald's on Ponce Leon.
What'd you do there?
Man, I thought them folks was killing me, man. I was making 1 million hamburgers. I was sweeping 1 million floors, doing that outside cleanup. You had to go outside and sweep.
Oh, those suck too, I bet.
Look, then it was wild because I was like, then I found out churches pay every week. McDonald's pay every 2 weeks. So I bounced on them and went to churches. But then
you knew that weekly pay style quick.
Right. It wasn't that much. Like
right, of course.
Back in the day was
$5 an hour, $6 an hour.
Man, throwback slavery. I'm talking about.
Right. But that was good, dude, right? Like it kind of taught you some early kind of work ethic.
Oh yeah, man.
That showed you some things maybe you didn't want to do later.
Yes. Like it's wild because I really accredit McDonald's to my customer service that I have today.
Right.
Like that formula they got in there, like customer service and like how they reinvent their products and you notice every McDonald's always get a facelift.
Yeah.
Like get the same hamburger, but it's gonna be a new box. Like Like to this day, it helped with my customer service a lot. Like even though the customer ain't always right in our profession, but
Right. You learned how to turn it on and on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get the professionalism and yeah, man. Just like all these jobs we had, kind of just mold us into becoming the style barber we are, or just make us thrive in certain areas of the customer service thing, the performance thing, the longevity, the social part of it, the hustle part. It's just there's so many little things that play a part of it. So yeah, like my first gig, I'd wash dishes at the food court. This place called A's Grill. This dude from Iran, he called me cocksucker every day.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he'd be like cocksucker, but it was just how he talked. I'm like, yo, all right. All right, Ali. So yeah, we're talking about McDonald's. What was some other jobs you did that?
Man, okay. So I'm gonna do all the honorable mentions. Okay, fast food broke me in on customer service.
Right.
I always been a go-getter, dog. I'm gonna go get some. Like we finna get these groceries up in here some kind of way. But
for real.
It's wild. I got introduced to them. I started at this office furniture place called Office Furniture Depot on Beaufort Highway. And then the lady at the front desk, she was real cool. And she introduced me to her husband, and he worked in the moving business.
Okay.
So next thing I got in the moving business, and that was tough. But
what'd you do? What'd you do there? I worked for a moving company for 2 whole days.
I know, I'm sure, because it's tough. Man, I was a mover.
You and another dude driving?
Man, it was a whole operation, bro.
Right.
Like, we had trucks, we had sites to go to. It was commercial. It was
okay.
It was
you do commercial or residential?
Yeah, commercial, residential. So check it. So first I did that, and then I did that for a while. Then I ended up getting a job at this tree company called Davy Tree in Chambly. So next thing you know, that was a great job, man. I never worked at a job where they wash your uniforms.
Oh shit.
Give you like 5 uniforms, give you 10, and you bring 6 in, then they wash 5, then you just keep rotating. Man, I thought I was a man. Like great.
There's a lot of money in that, dude.
Yeah. So let me tell you what they did. They taught me how to drive on big trucks. Because I used to drive, when you see them out, you see the guy with the dump truck, the groundsman, the one with the chipper. So I took that back to the moving company. So next thing you know, I'm driving the truck now, I'm supervising. So it came to the point where either I get it was tough work. So I had to figure out what else I was gonna do.
Did you have to get your CDL to do that?
Nah, not like the big scrape beds. No.
Okay.
But
I almost got into that, dude. I came this close from being a mailman and then thinking about driving like a semi truck. I came this close.
Yeah.
But I had a bad string of speeding tickets. I got like 3 in 3 months. I was seeing this girl that lived in another county, and I was always driving back and forth. And if it wasn't for those tickets, my whole trajectory of my life would have changed, I think. Like I would have been a mailman. I always kind of envy mailman. I think it's such a chill job in a lot of ways. Like they just like, you know what I mean? Listen to music. You're walking around. Yeah, man, things changed. So, dude, I mean, did you ever get in like sales or anything when you were at the furniture place?
No,
you were a bit more back end.
So what happened? The work was hard. So I used to be taking breaks, man. I'd be like, man, I'm taking about a week off. Like, so it came down to the point, just people around, I was mentors, they always taught me the power of like having a trade or a degree. So I was like, I was thinking of everything I was good at. So I was like, either I'm getting my CDL or I'm become a barber. Cause you remember I was cutting everybody already. So man, I end up going to barber school, man. That jump changed my life, bro. Like,
how old were you when you were in barber school?
It's wild because I was hard on my own case then. I think I was probably 25. I feel like I was a late bloomer a little bit. Hey, you know,
Same
most
here,
people
man.
pop out of college at 21, 22.
I envy them so much.
Yeah.
I was in barber school at 26, and I said, I looked at every single 19, 18-year-old in there like, I should have been you. I should have been you.
Right.
But then I saw like 49, 50-year-olds in there, and they were so inspiring to me.
Right.
I was like, you guys are so, because that, you know how hard it is to work that long and then just fucking start over, give something a shot, like the amount of balls that takes. And I felt like I was, taking a shot too. I mean, this was something I wanted to do the first time I dropped out of college, right?
Right.
At 20, right? So 2021. And it still didn't happen then.
Right.
And I was finally doing the thing I wanted to do. And I was almost afraid of like, what if I don't like this now after so long of wanting to do this and it just doesn't pan out? And then once you get that first like haircut in and you just get a little inkling of confidence from it, you're just like, oh shit, man, it's on now. I'm going to get paid for this one day.
Right.
I did this shit for free.
Right.
Like at that point, right?
Right.
So how long were you in school and where did you go?
I went to this school called Sanverly Barber College. It was downtown on Broad Street.
Okay.
And, it probably took me maybe a year and a half.
Same, dude.
I was 1,500 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I ain't gonna lie. It was a sacrifice because while you're in school, you got to go get those hours in during the day.
Yeah.
So, and then you cutting all these clients. They coming in, they getting these school prices, man. I used to be pissed at school. It's funny story. I used to be smoking cigarettes at the time, bro. I go outside on break, smoke a cigarette. Cause man, the tips, man. I used to have a whole long line of like old ladies. They used to request me all the time.
Yeah.
Cause it was like a barber styling school.
Yeah.
I love barbering more. So we had to learn to do roller sets and all that and shampoos. Man, those old ladies would give me probably a pack of Nikot crackers, banana, and probably about $2. I used to be like, damn, I ain't even making parking money in here.
Here's some juicy fruit. Now you have a good day.
Thanks, the baby.
Yo, they got rid of the roller sets the year I started barber school.
Hey,
I got lucky, man. That was we tried it one time in class, and I was like, "What?" I never imagined we'd have to. And ours was like a strict barber only school, and that was another thing that one of the reasons because I'm from West Virginia originally. There wasn't any barber schools at the time there. Now there is in my area. And dude, I remember going to my barber then, and this was a different barber from the one I was talking about earlier, but he was almost like deterring me. He's like, nah, you got to stay at Capitol. You got to stay at the Capitol. That's where the only barber school is. You can't even miss Christmas. You got to go a year straight. You can't miss Christmas. And I was like, what?
Whoa.
And yeah, it kind of steered me away if I didn't. And then there was like beauty school. That's what my barber did I was talking about. He went through beauty school as a barber. Like he got his like cos license, but he became a barber that way. And but yeah, is the school still around that you went to?
I'm not sure. I think it is. This pandemic kind of hurt a lot of stuff.
It messed everything up, man. It's getting worse and worse, dude. Like, dude, they're not requiring anything these days to become a barber. Like, you had to take your test, right? Like your written and a practical, right?
Yeah, I used to do the test in Macon, Georgia. You used to have to, okay, you go through school here, but then when it comes time for state board, you get all, you remember the prep for that, like,
oh yeah,
sweating bullets, like Jesus bullets. But
it's the scariest day of your barber career, kind of the most nerve-wracking day.
Right. So they give you a whole list of stuff to bring, and you got to bring a model with you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You had to supply your own model too, right? Yeah. So we got to do that.
I think Macon, don't quote me on this, but I think Macon is maybe an hour and something out the city. So I never forget, I rented a little car. You do the written part. They put you in this room. You do the whole written part. Then the other part is practical. So they take everybody in this room, and it'd be these guys with these white jackets on with some clipboards, walking around looking at everybody, and got to go through all the procedures. Well, I'm gonna tell you, I was nervous, but I never forget, man. I was taking the test, then this guy stopped me. Then he was like, what school you went to, young man? Then I was like, I went to San Verde, sir. Like that. He said, I just want to let you know you're doing a great job. So it was crazy because they didn't, they don't get a result. They didn't get the results on the spot when I went.
Right.
It's a mail them to you.
Yeah.
Man, I rolled back feeling like I was young Jeezy, man.
I'm good.
I had to pass it, and I already knew. Like,
hell yeah, man.
And
yeah, that's a great day, dude. Especially when you're in school for what seems like forever.
Right.
So when you were done, before you were done, did you have your first shop kind of set up? You knew where you were going to go?
I'm gonna tell you what I did, bro. Because school it's a bite, it's a chunk out your income because you still got to survive while you're in school. So I was in school, but I had to figure out how to get money. So I was in school and I was working part-time, doing all kind of stuff. So what I did, I went halfway through school. So I felt like I was kind of competent, had decent skills. But bro, then I went and found me a shop.
A lot of people do that.
Yeah, I asked around. Then some cats I know they recommend to a shop. I never forget, man. I walked in. It was at the corner of MLK and Asheville, a shop called High Profile. Okay. And it's right down the street from the AUC. So when I was a kid, I used to want to go to the AUC. I don't know, probably every smart black kid want to be like Dr. King now. So I went to the Morehouse and all that. I wanted to be, this is why I wanted to be a psychologist, a writer when I was a kid.
There you go.
So I never forget, I walked in, then the guy, I said, man, I'm in school. I want to cut, make some money. I said, I'm not quitting school, though. I'm going to finish school, but I want to make some money. Man, the guy, he stepped back. He looked me up and down. He said, next thing you know, he said, you got some tools? And I was like, yeah, man. Then he said, all right, come on tomorrow to get started. So, man, I was working in the shop. So I cut my school hours back part-time.
Okay.
I was working in the shop.
So and that's what made it take a little longer too.
Yeah. And I was in school, bro. Like, so man, I really got blessed because I remember those days, bro, when I used to be happy because I was just shop Ricky too. You know how that feels to be the shop.
Yeah.
Shop culture is very important.
Paying your dues.
Yes. Yes. Shop culture is very important. Like when you're a Ricky. So you kind of, it's great to get in.
I wanted to bring up a subject kind of talking about that little gatekeeping industry. Yeah. And you don't forget about these first people you encounter in barbering, right? Like you can kind of make or break some people, and sometimes they're not welcoming. Some people kind of get like, maybe this ain't for me, man. And they might lose it forever after that.
Right.
So kind of how did he take you in? I know maybe that wasn't, was that the shop you ultimately worked at after school too? Or?
Yeah. I worked there for a while after school, but I was so quick on my feet, bro, that I already was trying to open my first shop like a year out of school.
Nice. That's so big, dude.
The way my mind thinks, the environment I come from, man, I be trying to get it. So,
well, it seems like they kind of let you thrive and let that work ethic that you garnered.
I ain't gonna lie. It was they took me in. I was a shop baby, but I also I felt the burn of competition as well.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing in barbering, dude. It's
like the young lion. Now you're here with the big lions. Like, that's, you're gonna learn stuff from them, but you're also gonna feel that energy because they know you're young and hungry. Like some guys, it was a good group. Now when I look back, I learned something from everybody, but I also learned you got to go hard and you got to stand on your own 2 feet. But
it almost lights a fire under their ass too.
Right.
New young guy, he's like, man, they're doing some new styles.
Right.
He's doing stuff a different way and doing it well. Maybe I could gain something from this young cat too. So it goes both ways. It's super interesting, that layer of it, just learning something from everybody, and just even if it's not anything to do with cutting. Maybe it's just a way that you present something or pitch something. So it's, yeah, man, gatekeeping can fuck up a lot of shit for young barbers. And it's even harder today with the education problem, and everything's kind of like an apprenticing. You're at the mercy of these people that are in control of your license and in control of your future. So it's a scary thing in certain situations where these people, you know, some mentors are shit mentors. They're not good mentors. And, you know, we're kind of blessed and lucky to be around the, you know, the early mentors we had. I mean, my first boss in my first shop, I mean, he just like you, man, he appreciated how hard I worked. He had to like make me take a lunch. He's like, no, come back here. Let's all eat together. It's like, take a break. I'm telling you, dude, you don't want to burn out. Take a break. Like he was big on, and I watched how hard he worked too. So he was a great, I mean, the guy just like did the best fade I ever saw in my life in 30 minutes. And he just had this like group of clients that followed him throughout 15 years. And like, yeah, man, he was a great first boss. Shout out to Frank.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, Arizona, it was a different game, man.
Yeah.
I did a lot of Latin hair then. It was all skin fades, all razor lineups on babies. The whole thing, man. But you learn a lot. Yeah, you learn a lot in those early days. So what was so you said you want to open up your own spot, right? So kind of what was going on when you were ready to kind of take that next step?
All right, so my ex owner, God bless him, he ended up passing away.
R.I.P. man.
But the environment I was in, it was a cool environment, but I just always had a viewpoint. I guess it's the environment I come from, but I always have a forward-thinking viewpoint about letting people control how far I can go.
Yeah.
So if I'm ever in an environment and I feel like could be some hating going on, or put it like this, it's all right if you want to drink half a jug of apple juice.
Right.
That's okay with me. But I might want to drink the whole jug of apple juice.
Yeah.
So I'm always make sure I can drink a whole thing of apple juice. You know what I mean? Like I'm always put myself in an environment where I can control. Put it like this, I don't follow paths that I don't lead, bro. And that's straight up.
I mean, that's ultimately what it comes down to. And yeah, I was always just like, I got to be able to see a future. If you can't see the future being somewhere, then it's just, there's no motivation to be there in the present moment if you can't see the future of it.
Right.
That's why, like, you see, you know, hate to shit on it, but anyone working at McDonald's today or any spot, like I go to Chipotle sometimes, and I always talk about Chipotle because that's what I eat for lunch if I do. Yeah. And dude, these people, you could just tell the future is not, they're not thinking about it. They're just getting through day to day, and they hate their life.
Right.
It's like, dude, I promise you, this is not it. This is not the end for you. Like, give something else a shot, man, because this is not what you're meant to do or what you want to do, it looks like.
Right. So, let me tell you something I learned about life. Like, everybody's different.
No doubt.
Your limit, okay. I might like Jordans. This guy might like Pro Wings. Get what I'm saying? But I respect the fact that he like Pro Wings. Pro Wings ain't for me, but I know it's wild how the world made up. Like, everybody got their own things that make them happy.
No doubt.
Things that make them happy might not be big as the things we want. So it's funny how that happens, because next thing you know, that turns into how the economy is spread out. You have your people who want to own, you have your people who happy with just working. So you see how that goes. So, but
I was always one of those people too, man, with barbering. I was kind of content, not content, but like I was still growing while being an employee. always had like a ownership mind state in
Right.
my little sector of
Right.
my barbering. But, I saw how hard it was to be a business owner. And I realized just like I'm cool with not dealing with the headache right now. Like I'm just working, doing my thing, and I get to pop in, work, go home after that. And it wasn't until I was kind of forced to make a move where I had to start thinking about, all right, well, you catch yourself in your career where it's just like, this is the last time I'm doing this like this. If there's gonna be a next time, I'm gonna do it different. And
Right.
that's kind of how I came into the suite. So when you opened up your own spot, what did you kind of learn and how everything go?
Okay, so it's wild because I'm 47 now.
47. I was gonna ask your age eventually.
When I opened that
You
spot
don't
up,
look a day. You don't look a day over 36, my man.
woo, thank God for the lima beans and the grapes, man. That's all I was saying. Butter beans and grapes. Try to be healthy, man. When I opened that shop, I was 27.
Nice.
So
Super young.
it was wild, bro. I say maybe 26, 27. It was wild because I learned some things when I opened that shop. I learned how to pick a shop. I learned when you pick a shop, you got to pay attention to traffic around there. I also learned that if you open a business, you want to open I say an elbow business. You want to open it in a place where it's a lot of other thriving businesses around.
That's a good point.
I learned you really have to make sure it's a busy place. Because I opened a shop in a quiet area. So that was the first lesson I learned. It did okay, but it didn't do super good. So the first lesson I learned was location. So I get my butt kicked about that. Yeah. So
your name can only bring out so many people, right?
Right. Because business, I think being a barber, okay, you got you have your flow of people coming in, but you're also always gonna have, I call it the erosion effect. You know how something erodes, like water coming in and it wash off little by little. You always just say if you got 100%, is always going to be a 5%. I ain't gonna give it too much. I'm gonna say 10% that might fall off one day, or it could be anything from moving somewhere to personality or attitude about prices, or it could be a number of things, but it's always gonna be a 10% erosion effect. So how you cover that 10% erosion effect is making sure you're in a location that got good traffic and walk-ins. It ain't got to be super bumping walk-ins, but at least a nice ratio, because those people who walk in, they'll like your work and they'll replace the guy who you've been cutting for 10 years that you're gonna miss, who's moving away. You see how that goes? Like, yeah, our business, man, is crazy. Like
I'm kind of dealing with it right now. I had a couple guys that have been with me for as long as I've been here, really, that I just lost, and I gained one new one, but I'm like, damn, I'm still down one. And
yeah,
sometimes it's people that come see you like once every 2 weeks, once every 3 months.
Right.
But even if they're the 3-monther, you're thinking, they come every 3 months, but you're still happy they came to you of all people. So,
right.
But yeah, that's one of my fears in this, like the erosion. That's a good way to put it. And there's a definite erosion that people warn you of, even when you're about to go in a suite. It's like, yeah, man, eventually just kind of, people break off piece by piece. But these are, you got to think about the ulterior motive. It seems some of the barbershop, like, especially when we're on Instagram, right? And we'll talk about social media a little bit. Like, you have to understand where these people's current situations are,
right?
When they're talking about, when they're spewing helpful guidance on the internet,
right?
It's just like, they're going to tell you the suite is this, the suite is that.
Right.
I was like, okay, what's this guy do? Is he a suite owner? Oh, he's a barbershop owner. He's not pushing any narratives of the suite life.
Right.
He's pushing against it. He doesn't want any barbers to leave his shop and do that. So you have to understand where people's motivations are when you're listening to guidance. But yeah, man, it's definitely in the back of my head, and I'm trying to make sure I have somewhat of a presence that can bring in some people. I love being up by the front door, man.
Right.
I'm in the perfect spot, I feel like, because I'm not against the window where I have to deal with the window shit.
Right.
But I'm still the first thing you kind of see when you walk in a way.
Right.
So,
right.
Direct a lot of traffic, help people out,
Right.
Talk to some walk-ins sometimes. Some characters scurry in sometimes. They're just like, okay. There's one dude, his bit, it's always his bit. He wants a paper towel because he stepped in dog shit. You know the guy I'm talking about?
I gotta see him.
I can't remember what he looks like, but like
he be sleeping in the front.
No, it's not old boy. It's always there.
Yeah.
Bald head guy.
Yeah, I feel bad for him.
Yeah, he's around. I haven't seen him in a little bit, but dude, the one guy, it's just this bit every time is stepped in dog shit. Let me. I'm like, no.
Oh yeah, I saw that guy before. He a little tall.
Yeah, he's a bigger guy.
He having like a hoodie on or something.
Kinda, yeah.
I politely usher him out of here. So my first go to is you stepped in some poop. What you doing in here then? You trying to sit in my shop. Get up out of here. I'm like,
so you got a towel? And I'm like, I'll give you a paper towel.
You don't mean no harm, but take the poop back outside, man. Like,
right. Yeah, what the fuck are you doing here for?
You doing it?
That is what you want to say.
But yeah, that guy, he be making our colleagues feel uncomfortable, the ladies. So I be trying to
you always kind of do a good job, kind of
shoot them back out of there.
Right. But the erosion thing. Yeah, that was a scary thing. I'm glad you brought that up. But okay, so moving forward, what was kind of your next step when you figured out the location wasn't that, and what were some of the adjustments you made moving forward there?
Okay, that's another part of the story. So I closed that location up, and I moved to another location, and it was a better location, but it still wasn't a booming location. It was more like a community pass through.
Okay.
So I did that for a while, and that didn't go good. So I ended up and it was wild because I had a few barbers working with me. And
that's what I was going to ask. How many did you have? A lot of employees, or how was kind of that learning process?
3 more guys with me or something.
3 guys?
Yeah, and that was okay. But
what was that layer like? You're a solo operation now. You learned about, dude, everyone's an artist, right? People from every background, right? It's hard to get everyone to kind of come together with that one vision, especially if you're doing like booth rent, and it becomes difficult. So talk about some of those struggles.
All right, so it was cool, but you see my face, right? Like some guys be having this going on, that going on. So now I gotta have that conversation about this not the place for that. This is a workplace.
Yeah.
You finna get us all messed up in here. So and then
and those are some of the stereotypes of barbershops that people try to break out of, and it's hard.
Right. Everybody wasn't doing nothing crazy, but I did have to have a conversation with maybe one guy or something. But then it was I ain't gonna lie, as a business owner, or as the shop owner, when you got people working with you, it turns into, I don't know how other people view it, but it becomes a big responsibility because those walk-ins ain't coming. Put it like this, you're a barber. So you gotta get your quota, you gotta pay your bills, you gotta take care of your family, right? So when stuff ain't pumping, or cats ain't got a certain drive, so then I had pressure on me because it made me feel like if I'm the owner, I open this opportunity up. You need to be thriving off of it. So when it wasn't thriving at times, that's pressure. So you feel
like
bad.
you're letting people down.
Yeah. So yeah, it just I am gonna do it again one day though, for sure.
Okay.
I do got some plans, but now that I'm older, it's just a whole different viewpoint. Like just make sure I'm setting up a big table so everybody can eat. Just do it that way. So
What was kind of the final straw that pushed you into being a solo operation?
Okay, it was wild because matter of fact, what brought me to the loft I'm at now is I was about to start doing man units.
Yeah. Doing what old Jeffrey's doing over there.
Yeah. So I felt like that kind of service requires a more quiet setting.
Right.
I think clients want to
Getting a
come
lot of
in.
bang for your buck there.
Yeah, they want to get this service. They want to slide in, slide out without too much eyes or riffraff.
Yeah.
It's like a whole transformation. So that's why I moved there. And I've been there 3 years in February. So
3 years in February. Nice, man.
yeah, it's going good.
Oh yeah, man. So are you still messing around trying to get into the units or?
Man, my butt, man, my mind be everywhere. So I was doing it and I need to do it, but I've been doing other stuff. So maybe I'm just procrastinating, but eventually I'm gonna probably pick it up and run with it. I took that guy's class, Wade the Barber. If you heard of him before.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, he like travel all around the country and he teach people how to do it. So
Okay.
I got it in the bag. I just need to crank it up.
Yeah, man. Well, so think about back to the competition thing, keeping Jeffrey in mind that he's doing that right next to you. Really,
That's cool.
He's joint across from you. Like,
yeah,
it's all respect for sure, but like, is there a layer of like, man, I'm stepping on it. We're stepping on each other's toes now a little bit, or
I'm gonna tell you something, man. That's wild. Like in the setting that we in, the law setting,
yeah,
it's like specialties in there. So
no.
everybody who's in there in the hair care, beauty care field, they came from a certain place. So before they got there, they was made already.
Right. That's
so if we talking about the boy Jeffrey is a veteran, man. Like
Yeah.
he was in the military. He had like stripes and like a big hat. But he probably
he said he'd been in there before, right? Like
20-some, 30-some years. He left and came back since I've been there. So ain't nothing I do can touch Jeffrey, man. Jeffrey already. That's the thing about barbering. Like we everything becomes personalized.
Yeah.
And based on who you are, your culture. So it ain't never. And
styles make fights, man. It just
right.
it really it's the most special thing about it. Like it's our own flavor.
Right.
And yeah, there's always that mutual respect of seeing your peers and everything.
Right.
Like, I mean, I feel like, I have a different level of respect for like you, Tahir, Matt Bailey. Like I see those, we're all in there in the same hour. We all show up at like 8 a.m. or give or take 15 minutes or something. And it's just like, yeah, we're the ones coming in early, staying late most of the times.
Right.
Not to shit on anyone else. I mean, some people work later than us too. And but yeah, I mean, just that's the thing where it's just a level of like, yeah, I know Nate's going to be there at this time. I know Tahir is going to be over there at that time. So yeah, it's a cool thing to see. And the longer I've been in there, kind of you see the habits. And yeah, I mean, it's good to rely on just rely on your environment a little bit in a way.
I'm glad y'all came, man. I ain't gonna lie. I'd be liking to have a few barbers around, man.
Yeah, that's the thing, mixing in ladies and mixing in all these different
ladies telling me what to do all the time and making me hold all the doors. I need some dogs around here, man. A little barking sometimes.
Yeah. The ladies come in like to say, you should do this. You should put a show.
Right. It's real masculine in this law. It's a
Right.
barber shop. Like,
Yo, you know how much shit I got when I picked my colors that I picked in my
oh
suite?
man,
No one saw the vision
oh man,
until it was done. Then they were like, "All right, this worked out."
right, right,
At the
right,
beginning, when I had the little two paint sheets, the Sherwin-Williams, everyone was like, "What the fuck are you doing with
right,
these colors?"
right, right.
So yeah, it worked out. But
Yeah, you laced those colors. You did that. You
right,
did
it's
that.
all branding thing, man. I try to.
You did that like you from Florida, man. You flipped it. You know, Florida cats be having the bright colors. Like
Right.
you ate that, bro.
I was looking at the psychology part of it too. It's like a calming color. Like
Yeah.
people get like things. I was just trying to stand out in a way too. Just
That's
like,
dope.
you know, you're scrolling down your timeline, you're like, whoa, what was this yellow shit right here?
Yeah, yeah, that's dope. Good idea.
So let's talk about that a little bit with the NBA All-Star weekend around. I was kind of thinking about this. Social media and barbering is kind of like the three-pointer, right? It's like the three-pointer of barbering. Like you can still score. There's still ways to beat you without scoring or even shooting a three or falling in love with the three. I feel like social media is when you fall in love with the three-pointer.
Right.
And it's just like, okay, sometimes it's too much, you know? So what are your thoughts on social media and barbering and like how necessary and is it like what do you say to a barber that doesn't do it?
Okay, I guess I can. Okay, my parents, they call those people old school, but
Right.
my generation they call us new old school. So me being a new old school barber, it's like it ain't something that I do a lot, as you can see. But I'm starting to get more and more into it because what's going on is okay, as a barber, your repetitiveness picks up from your consistency of work and the clients you do, right? We like farmers. Like what you did last month or the 2 months before that, gonna show up this month.
Right.
Like the seeds start multiplying, right?
No
But
doubt.
okay, you gotta have the strong professionalism and the work ethic behind it. But in the days of new era, especially being in an environment we barber loft shop, like barbershop loft owners.
Yeah.
So I come to realize like everything you do on social media, it turns into like your little commercial.
Yeah.
You see like little commercials on TV.
Yeah.
So yeah, like even what you're doing now, this is a powerful setting, my brother, because it complements your day job.
Right.
You got your podcast going, your barber podcast, but it sits hand in hand with your professional barbering you do during the day, because this turns into people see this, then they like every post you do is like a small commercial. So
right.
that's
There's
cool.
more to this than just cutting hair.
Yeah, you gotta keep up with the new times. So I'm starting to get better at that. You probably saw a few little things I try to post like.
No, you got great content, man. I wish you made more.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
I wrote myself. I don't know if you saw my story the other day, but I wrote, I took a little screenshot of my book, and I crossed out all the names and shit, and I wrote myself a note, and I was like, anyone write words of encouragement for yourself? And it was, get the camera out, you coward. That was the note I wrote for myself. You fucking coward, get the camera out. Because dude, I'll be the first to tell you, like, I'm a shy guy in a lot of ways. Like, I might run my yap to overcompensate for it a little ways, but like my confidence ain't always there. Like, I'm not always sure of things. Like, you're so much happier you gave something a shot after you do it, because I mean, what's the alternative? Just fucking I should have. I wish I would have did this. And so yeah, like I always. I hear more and more about you should view shit on like when you're on your deathbed. Like my wife wants me to go on a vacation or something, and I'm like, no, I can't miss work. I gotta make sure I da. And it's like, well, I'm on my deathbed. What am I gonna say? I wish I would have worked that week. No, That's not what you're gonna say. So it's definitely a balance. It's definitely, you could be crying because you're saying that was the day my business failed, but
Right.
so, but yeah, you gotta keep things in mind that just, yeah, it's all perspective in the end of how you're gonna feel when it's all said and done, and you don't want to look past the things you didn't do, right? So yeah, the social media thing, man, I have peaks and valleys of it, or there's, I feel like I'm on a decent roll right now.
Yeah, man. It's inspiring, man. It's inspiring.
Yeah, like I wasn't inspired at all when I started the suite, right? Like maybe the summer I was in there, I was inspired to make content, but I hit a wall where I was just like, man, I'm just like, things are doing fine. I just want to make sure I'm watering that plant and making sure that, I stopped doing the pod. I stopped really shooting. So you're just trying to make sure, I got this thing. I don't want to mess it up now. And it's, you don't want to deviate too much, but you got to have fun with it. So it's just all these logs in the fire, make it fun and open up new opportunities and avenues. And yeah, man, social media, I feel like a lot of people get shit for their screen time. They're on their phone, how long they're scrolling and shit.
Right.
I tell people all the time, I'm like, I'm really not on there crazy unless I'm creating, like unless I'm putting something on there, causing some sort of engagement,
Right.
Like I might talk and BS a little more at when I'm making content or after I put on something, But,
right.
Yeah, man, it's not necessary though, right? Like there's a lot of like barbers, new and old, that they kill it and you'll never know about it, right? And that was part of this podcast too. Like, I mean, one of the things you said to me, I was kind of peeping your interest on if you'd want to be on here. You were like, I don't have a ton of followers. I'm like, dude, I could give a shit. That's the last thing. Like, that's good that you don't have that many, because people should know your story, and you've told a great story today. And like, you're killing it, dude. And whoever, I'm not saying this is going to open you up to the world doing this pod, but like, however many people watch this, I guess it's another person that has an understanding that you don't have to be Vic Blends to do this. At any level you can kill it. And man, that's one of the genesis of why I did this. There's not enough barber podcasts that are coming out consistently. A lot of them kind of come and go. So I'm trying to stay with it, man. Trying to. So so I had another joint here. One thing we dealt with a lot. Well, okay, let's get into this. So let's talk about the longevity part of barbering, right? So I get really weird, dude. I had the meanest hair splinter the other day.
Yeah.
Where if, say, our thumbs or fingerprints are like tread on tires, it was like the grippiest part of my thumb is where I got this thing. So I'm like, oh man, I cut it out. I cut out like fragments. There's still fragment in there. So so let's talk about injuring yourself outside of work, outside of barbering. And dude, like, I know you got a few vehicles, I feel like, right? You ride a little bike too. You ride a little motorcycle, actually.
Yeah.
So dude, I've witnessed a coworker of mine fuck herself up, man. She broke her like hips, legs, and she crushed it. She was one of my better barbers I've seen since I moved to Atlanta. And she loves her motorcycle, and she got a terrible accident that almost ended her career. She's back now, killing it. But yeah, what do you think about that, dude? Like, just taking care of yourself outside of work and making sure that you're able to stand to do this job. You're able to do the part that we think's easy now. And all of a sudden, that can get taken away or hindered in a way, and it's that's something I always freak out about. Right.
So me personally, along with work, I remember, like you might read the Bible or something, and they talk about Moses in the Bible, right? Remember, God just pulled up and came and got this guy.
Yeah.
Just pulled up like, yo, time to ride. Let's go.
Yeah.
But I know I be paying attention to the description of Moses. It say his eyes wasn't. It say his eyes weren't dim and his scream wasn't faint. So if I'm listening to that closely, that's like an old man who still can put them hands on you, dog. Like he
Oh
still,
yeah.
old dad still got action. So the things I do in life, I try to think about longevity, man. When I get older, I don't want nobody changing my pamper, yo.
No doubt.
So I just try to think ahead. And I ain't perfect now, but I just try to make sure I work out, try to make sure I eat right, you know. Yeah, I ride my motorcycle. That's like my mental therapy. Like for my mind, I love that bike. And then like I'm like a motorhead, low key.
Okay.
You know, those kind of guys, like speed guys or engine guys. So like that's my therapy, man. It's so freeing. Like no matter what I'm going through, I can fly down the street and excuse my language, but the bullshit will just blow away. Like
Right.
but I
Yeah,
just
man, I've had some other guests on here before that's their thing too, and I'm sure there's no more liberating feeling about it. And I mean, the little bit I've gotten through life with that type of stuff, like
right.
I get it. I definitely get it.
Right. But what I don't do is I try to nobody's perfect, but my faith means a lot to me. So I'm covered.
Has that always been the case?
Yeah.
Okay.
Life kicked it in me. But grace, man, take me a long way. So I really ain't the type of person I ain't gonna live my life afraid to do things. Of course, I might have
Man.
that speed bump of fear. You know how the car hit the bump, then
You gotta be realistic.
got to make your way over. But yeah, man, I don't live life like that. I'm gonna have fun, but it's always gonna be safe fun. I took my instructors that taught me in class, like riding bikes. They was big on safety, and we know where we riding bikes at in Atlanta. These people already be driving crazy out here. So yeah, it was a game. I'm showing my age. The first video game system, Atari.
Okay.
So it was a game on Atari when I was real little. I used to play. It was called Froggy. I don't know if you remember that.
Of course.
That game taught me how to cross the street, bro. You remember how you used to have to work across the street? So I drive that way. I ride my bike that way. Like,
yeah, man, it's training you before you even knew it.
Right. It ain't no open space. Don't try it. You're gonna get smashed, right? Like,
yeah, man. Yeah, I talk about sometimes, like, man, I had a thing. I had no family in the house, so I thought I could get a little weird. And I tripped mushrooms, right? And I was like trying to gain something from it, right? You know, my dad's not my life. My dad passed, about a decade ago. Before I even did this barbering thing, and that was one of the things I wish I could have showed him how far I took it. But like, I was just like looking for something with it, right? I didn't know what, and the fear thing, that was the big thing I gained from it. I was like, man, it just controls my life so much, like down to the littlest shit. Like, I mean, like I can't even handle going to a grocery store sometimes. I'm just like, man, I'm done. And it's like a underlying fear, right?
Right.
So like, yeah, that's important that you said that. Just that you can't walk around being afraid of everything. So you got to trust in God that everything will be all right as long as you do your part. But yeah, dude, I'm becoming more and more less fearful and just giving it a shot. And it's incredible what you can do if you just try.
Right.
Just trying it. Some people are like, how'd you do that, man? I tried. I don't know. I just gave it a shot one day.
Right.
So there's not enough trying these days. People almost think it's not cool to try in a lot of ways too. Like people don't want to come off like they're trying too hard. I get that too, but like, yeah, it's a crazy thing, fear, man.
I think fear is actually normal. That's your body's way to tell you that you need to be safe.
For sure.
One thing I learned is that scientific theory about motion.
Yeah.
Like when something's going, I forgot exactly how they said, but when something's going, it's keeping energy is going. But when it stops, it stops. So
that
just gotta keep
inertia or whatever they call
just
it.
gotta keep going, bro. And it's cool. Just keep going. Like fake it till you make it if you need to. But keep going. I think people forget a lot of times that whether you male or female, you're damn human, bro. Like you're not perfect, bro. Like you're gonna.
Yeah, we try as barbers, we try to be as perfect as we can and,
Right.
consistent as we can. But at the end of the day, man, there's going to be days we walk in and the lights aren't on. We're not ready to perform
Right.
sometimes. Like there's good days and bad days. I talk about that all the time. And, keep yourself in good physical shape is one of the ways to kind of make sure you perform as
Right.
consistent as possible. But sometimes we get sick, man. Sometimes we got family shit going on. Sometimes our mental just we're not focused on what we need to do that day. And yeah, that's one of the cool parts where you can make your client understand with your just talking about it, man. Just, making them understand we're all human. And
Right.
that's one of the things. I think that's one of my superpowers behind the chair. Like I'm just dead honest a lot, like
Right.
whether something I have going on or
Right.
that's how I connect with my clients. And, hopefully, that's one of the reasons they come back to talk about real shit, in the chair in the shop. So,
right. People can tell when you're faking or if you're real. So it resonates, man. So
yeah, man. So I'm not afraid to tell them, man, I'm not my best today, man. Whether it's the timing part or I'm busy or, sometimes I'll mark off extra time for a client that I feel like the last couple times I've kind of rushed them or, it wasn't a perfect scenario for them to get their best haircut. So I'll carve out a little more time to kind of give back and be like, hey, and I'll tell them too. I was like, hey, man, we're good today. I kind of carved out a little more time. I felt like I was kind of rushed the last couple of haircuts, man. So my apologies. I'm gonna make sure you're taken care of. So yeah, I like to try to remember those kind of things. And half the time they don't even notice. Sometimes they won't even notice, but they appreciate that you did. So that goes a long way with keeping your clients and just being a good person in a lot of ways.
Right.
So what's kind of what I remember when we first kind of met talking in the suites, you're talking a lot about reinventing yourself. Right. And I didn't forget that. So kind of what what's in the future, man? What were you trying to kind of what knife are you trying to sharpen right now?
Man, I think I'm gonna be like Trump, man. Just pinky in the brain and just take over the world. Now I'm just making
try to run it all.
Straight pinky in the brain. But nah, man. This life we live in, man. I realize you get paid for what you know. So in the realm of being a barber, okay, just say I'm starting to which I always do, but I guess as we get older, it get more precise and more sharpened, right? So I'm studying myself to see like within this realm of this world that I was blessed to create, that I love, what can I add in there?
Yeah, what kind of edge can you gain?
Look, like
how small?
Like skills or what kind of new things I can go learn that can equal new services on the price list.
No doubt.
Or what else can I introduce my client to that I can make more money off of? So, man, I've been and outside of that, okay, my daytime career as a barber, because like we are as a barber, that's like the network capital of the world. And there's so much knowledge that's sitting in our chair. Alone, sometimes the chair we pour down to the chair, but sometimes the chair pour up to us, right? So learning all this stuff is like, how can I make my daytime money work for me? Or how can these things in my life, because sometimes we get caught up in liabilities. Okay, these liabilities that I love so much, how can I turn these into assets and make them start working for me? I'm getting away from that. So yeah, I just been learning like new skills that I can do at the shop, and I've been trying to, flip some money on the side, learning new things to do. Like you probably saw, I don't know if you saw my new whip I got. I got a yeah, you saw it, the black joint.
Yeah, I thought you got a new car. I'm like, this guy got 3 cars?
Because I don't say much, right? But I was like, but I was parting this to the spaceship though, that LEX you got, man. Lex Luger, man. You got battery power Lex Luger out there. So
that was one of my I think that was an edge I gained. No more paying for gas, no more paying for oil, no more taking the time to do both of those things.
So
that was an edge I gained, I feel like, when I did that.
Word.
He's talking about I got an EV
write-offs, right? You get some tax write-offs, right?
Yeah, there was a tax write-off.
Right? Yeah.
I'll be able to do some sort of business write-off once I get the accountant.
That's what's up.
I'm letting my accountant finish my taxes before I drop that bomb on him. So I got a new car.
You talking about taxes. I ain't gonna flip the subject, but all the people who think being an entrepreneur is just easy. Bro, I treat this joint like a job every day. I'm still doing 9 to 5, even though I got the option to do all this. Bro, I just did my taxes.
Yeah.
Bro, that was like $200 for the taxes and $200 for the business license.
Right. That's just to pay the fees to get the shit done, just doing it.
Bro,
what we gotta pay.
Last week that was like $400. That you gotta pay that to keep your business going. So it's like it turned into priority. But did you have to
go down the city and fuck around too?
No, it's wild because we got to do our personal business taxes, but now our City of Atlanta business license. Now they want you to report your income taxes with that when you reapply. They didn't used to do that.
Oh, really?
That like a year or two ago. So now you have to go ahead and do your taxes. When we used to be able to, sometime back in the day, we entrepreneurs, we had to pay out taxes. You get what I'm saying? So we used to be able to sometimes, depending on how money look, I'll get a little extension. I just do it a few months later, but that's over with now because you gotta show the taxes when you recertify your business license. So
yeah, that's what I'm waiting on my guy to do. I thought he was gonna be done, but he's still not done. So I'm waiting on that big bomb. I've been saying to myself and my wife, this year is the only year it's gonna be like this, in good ways and bad ways. But I'm switching to that S Corp thing. And so it'll kind of shape how the rest of my business, in filing taxes and what I'm going to owe and all that. It's going to kind of keep it more regulated. So this volatile, like, Jesus, where the fucking shit's up here? It's down here. I'm figuring that shit out. What's that?
You own your home?
It's in my wife's name.
Okay, I'm going to tell you, man. That's your wife, though. Okay, I heard. Okay, it's always something new we're learning, right? But a LLC and a mortgage, like as far as taxes are concerned, I heard it's like one of the 2 most powerful entities in this country. So if you combining those together, like hella write-offs, hella breaks. So yeah, but that truck you saw me with, that what is it? Black Sorrento. I know you saw me. You was like, what Nate got going on?
Yeah, I saw him. Just like, wait.
But I'm gonna tell you why I got it though, because I'm starting to do better with myself. Okay, the Camaro I got. Yeah, look all good. It's fast. I get my need for speed. But I even had a plan with that. I'm gonna put that on Turo.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I ain't playing no games.
So you can rent out your car, and can you do something with your business to write that off on top? Or
Turo is like the Airbnb of cars.
Okay.
So, all right, I'm gonna put the Camaro on Turo, and I ain't gonna lie, I've been needing to make some extra money lately. So I sit down, I thought long and hard. So I went and
Our
got
slow
that.
season, right?
Right. I went and got that little SUV I got. So lately, I ain't gonna lie, I've been doing ride share at night.
Yeah, dude.
So I do some ride share. So not only I do ride share with the vehicle and it pay for itself, I can do Turo with it, and I can maybe even do some Amazon packages. I'm just all about the bread, bro. So that's
That's
why
not bad. Do those like same day packages. Yeah, I would do that. I used to work for Amazon at the end of barber school. That was my last job. I was in the warehouse, but I had the easiest job you could have got at Amazon. We worked for 5-hour shifts. We did 2,000 packages. There was like 20 of us, 15, 20 of us to unload 2,000 packages. That's it. And then when set it up for all the cars that drive through like the raceway, pick them up, boom, they're done. Then we were just setting up for the heroes at nighttime. We were like twiddling our thumbs. So they got rid of that position after I, after I finished up school and everything. But I was kind of like, where was this job the whole time I was in school? Like all those struggles, those tough times, paying rent, paying my car payment, all this shit.
Right.
So yeah, dude, I mean, I think that's a good gig, doing those Amazon packages on the side if you want, get through the season with doing that. But yeah, man, I mean, just you can always mix in whatever. You can diversify.
Yep. I got a lot of plans, man. Eventually I'm gonna get one of those Barber vans. And then if somebody want a haircut, it's gonna be filled with nice gratuity when I pull up. You know what I mean? So
hell yeah, my man.
In shop cuts totally different than outside cuts. So
yeah, you could pull up on anyone and actually see. What's your take on that? The traveling barber, the barber that goes to the houses versus bringing them to the shop.
As long as you making it work for you, as long as they paying you to come. Because if I cut anybody's hair outside the shop, that's instantly double, yo. Like instantly.
No doubt, it's got to pay. But I'm always back to the walking advertisement thing. I'm like thinking in my head, am I going to be able to do the best work I can do without my chair, without the lighting, without?
That's why I would rather get a van.
What's that?
That's why I rather get a van.
Exactly. No, that's what makes me think about it, because you're able to guarantee the environment you need to perform while being mobile at the same time. It's kind of best of both. Dude, I kind of like that idea, man.
Yeah,
when you're getting into that.
Right. My mind be spinning, man. So yeah. Just I ain't gonna lie, I'm trying to make a 10-year hardcore dash toward retirement. So all the stuff I learned, I'm finna mass compile that stuff and get paid.
Yeah, man. What about investing? Have you ever started a IRA yet?
No, I haven't.
Gotta do.
I'm gonna step my game up.
No matter how much it is, I cranked mine down, dude. I'm only throwing the minimum in there. Like you can throw in $5 a week if you want. Like you can put whatever you want into it. It's so easy to start one, but just to have a little bit of a nest egg when you can't do it anymore. You know what I mean?
Word.
Let it go to work for you a little bit. But yeah, man. Before we close out, I got one last little fun question. I always do the bones to pick in our industry. What's kind of your bones to pick right now going on with the barbers and with everything in the industry really right now?
What I don't like, or
yeah. Kind of grievances you got to air.
Things are competitive. Workplaces are competitive, but I'm really the type of guy, like, I don't want nothing that's on your table. You catch what I'm saying? Just say, like, if your client walk in and he looking for you,
right,
I'm gonna be like, call his number, or did you reach out to him? Like, I ain't trying to bag them.
Yeah, that's a big thing. People steal people, right?
But the thing about that is, like, stealing a girl. She was loose already.
Right. Right. That's a good point. That is a good point.
You can get stolen, then
they get a little curious. There's a reason why.
Right. That goes back to what you said about gatekeeping and being professional. Like, you it's enough to go around, bro. Like okay. I mean, when we first started at the loft, so you notice I be cool. I just be vibing, right?
Mhm.
I never forgot how I felt when I opened my loft up.
Yeah.
So now you're opening your loft up. I remember that. So I'm like, yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you coming by. I feel like you're one of the cool people that came by and just, let me know it's all cool and we're here to help out each other. And
yeah,
man. Anytime like I said, I see a walk-in comes in that's got no idea what they're doing. I'm just like, hey, check out my guy Nate down there. I don't know if he has any openings.
word.
Or he's like, if you guys do walk-ins, I'm like, you might have to walk back out, but before you do, walk around here and check out, see if anyone's have some openings.
Yeah, I appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, like that's just part of being up front. I feel like you gotta, let some people's clients in sometimes. You gotta just help out because I mean, yeah, you would expect the same thing, right? If any of us need help.
All right.
So yeah, dude, the bone to pick shit. Like, I don't know if I have any right now. I think my bone to pick, I'll tell you my bone to pick, this fucking weather we've been getting, dude. Man, you want to talk about the slow season? You mix in the weather screwing up your days where you had some clients coming in, like, man, it jacked me up the last two snows. We got,
you can write that
Georgia,
off,
dude. We don't really get snow.
you can write that off your taxes, right?
Wait, what? What's that now? I gotta call an account.
Just say like, what did you lose from the storm?
Right.
That question they asked you. Your tax man asked you, did you have any losses from the storm? So you couldn't come to work, right?
Couldn't come to
what
work.
Did you lose that day? Like profit.
Fuck. I mean, so I had to take off. Oh man, it's tough because I got a kid. So like when they cancel school, then it really fucks me up.
Yeah.
Because then I'm like, I got to bring in my daughter, or I have to find the daycare. I got to bring her over there. It's just more the time, the time I'm not getting back that really messed me up because my wife happened to be out of town both times it snowed too. So that was just unlucky. But I'm not going to force my daughter to be in there full time when I'm working. You know what I mean? Like she's already trooping it out, watching YouTube on my laptop, getting hair all over. I'm getting hair all over her. Yeah. So, yeah, man, that's a interesting thing though. What'd you lose? You can kind of talk to that about the account. I just learned something so that everyone else watching this. So, but yeah, that was my bone. The weather, man. The weather in the South throwing some curveballs at us.
Yeah, we get down here. I ain't gonna lie, we get a little bit of everything, but not too much of nothing. So
yeah,
I guess
that's what's good.
Right. So I guess we don't. I'm glad it ain't a complete ice cap for like a month or two, cause
right. Well, Nate, I appreciate you making the time, my man, on our day off here. When am I going to see you I'll see you Wednesday.
Yeah. Are you back Wednesday?
I'll see you Wednesday morning, man. That's when I'll be back in there.
Word.
We'll circulate this thing around, let people know your story, and I'll be clipping some stuff up. And yeah, man, I thought you did great, man. I thought I got to know you a little better. And hell yeah, man, show these people what barbers are all about and, the life we live, man.
That's what's up, bro.
All right, Nate. You have a good evening, my man. Appreciate you, boss.
So, man, peace out, man.
Take care, Nate.
No doubt.